Peace Collective. What's going on? Welcome to the channel. My name is Milan. I am an intuitive tarot reader and psychic medium. If you guys are new here to this channel, welcome. If you guys are returning, welcome back. It means the world to me each and every single time you guys join. Thank you guys times 1,000 for being here and for deciding to spend your time and your energy here with me in these readings. As you guys know, this is going to be another general collective reading. However, we're going to get into another deep dive today, you guys. This is more of a bit of a special drop. I didn't make an announcement for this, but as you can tell by the title, we're going to look into the energy around Drake at this current time. If you guys are interested in readings that look more into celebrity culture, the entertainment industry, I've got an entire playlist already curated. It's called the Deep Dive series. That's where you can find more readings just like this one. This channel does offer love readings as well. We do live streams every once in a blue moon. I do personal readings. You guys can find all that information down in the description box down below, like always. Just as a quick disclaimer, you guys, this is not a fan page. This is not a stan page or anything of the sort. Everything in this reading is alleged until proven otherwise and for entertainment purposes only, okay? If you guys don't like what I'm saying, you don't resonate, you don't like the subject of this video, it's okay to just click off the reading. It's really no big deal, okay? All I ask is that you guys keep it cute, keep it respectful in the comments with me and with others who may decide to jump in the comments and share their opinions, okay? But yeah, we're just gonna get right into this, you guys. I'm doing this reading because last night, at least at the time of this recording, it's August 15th, just yesterday, again, at the time of this recording, the transcripts were released from the court hearing between Drake's legal team and UMG's legal team. As you guys know, Drake is currently in the middle of a defamation / illegal botting lawsuit against UMG over the lyrics, the cover art, when it comes to Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us. So I'm sure you guys are already aware of that. But just yesterday, there were transcripts released from a hearing that occurred on June 30th, if I'm not mistaken. Please, someone correct me if I'm wrong on the date. But this hearing was all the way back in June. The transcripts just got released. And you guys, when I say the judge during this hearing, UMG's lawyers during this hearing chewed Drake's lawyers, I felt secondhand embarrassment just listening to the reading of the transcripts. When I say like UMG's lawyers brought up the weird case that Baca got himself out of, okay? If you guys know, Baca is somebody in Drake's crew. They brought up Millie Bobby Brown, the alleged text messages. Oh my God. It was so bad. It even got to the point where the judge had to continuously cut off Drake's lawyers to try to understand their point or make them realize that their point really wasn't sticking too well. The motion to dismiss, of course, was denied. So that's why there was a hearing and things are continuing on the way they are. But it got to the point where the judge even mentioned and asked Drake's lawyers, do you have any proof, or is it true or is it not, that Kendrick Lamar is not the father of those children the way Drake claimed? I mean, when I say the judge just straight up asked, is it true or is it not? I really couldn't believe it. So I don't know what's going to happen next. As far as I'm concerned, I believe Lucian Grange, who is the head over at UMG, I believe he released a statement as well just yesterday. So this is a lot going on, you guys. But if you guys get a chance, make sure y'all check out the transcript reading, or, you know, if you guys have access to them yourselves to read them. It was a lot, but when I say, oh, they embarrassed Drake's lawyers in court, I'm sorry. And when it comes to the most recent filings from Drake's team, okay, the requests that they're looking for, you guys have probably seen on the internet and heard the outrage about Drake's team requesting information into Kendrick Lamar's criminal history, his background, wanting to basically confirm whether or not he's actually the father of his kids. I mean, that just goes to show you that if you need to request that information, that means you didn't have the proof or evidence of it in the first place. So I just really hope, as someone who likes Drake's music, I really hope that he doesn't bite himself in the ass more than he already kind of is, you guys. But we're gonna get right into this, okay? I have a King of Cups here that's gonna represent Drake, okay? We're just gonna get some general energy around this. I'm not gonna pull on UMG right now. I might at the end just to see how they feel, but I think it's very obvious how they feel about the situation. So yeah, let's just see what's going on with Drake, okay? If somebody wants to timestamp the reading, please feel free. Thank you ahead of time. My apologies for the tangent. But yeah, please make sure you guys definitely listen to or read those transcripts. Again, the court hearing was from all the way in June. They were just released as of recently, and it was bad. It was so bad. But let's see. What is the current energy, please, when it comes to Drake at this time regarding this lawsuit? Please and thank you. What is the current energy when it comes to Drake, please? When it comes to this current lawsuit against UMG, please and thank you. We're going to get with some oracle first, and then we'll get to the tarot a little bit later to clarify, you guys, okay? Here you have isolation here. It says rejected, left alone, and self-inflicted, okay? I can imagine he feels very iced out, okay? Self-inflicted, though, that always stands out to me with this card. If something is self-inflicted, that could mean that you most likely brought it upon yourself, or maybe you're the type of person that likes to be alone. You don't mind being alone, right? But he definitely feels very iced out, okay? I'm hearing that phrase, it's lonely at the top, okay? Doesn't he have an album coming out, Iceman? Because I'm hearing Ice Queen, Iceman, okay? I don't know when that album is supposed to drop, but if I'm not mistaken, I think that's the name of his newer project that he's going to release. But why is this here? Consequences, okay? It says bad choices, games, and mixed signals. So he could feel very isolated by his label. I mean, why wouldn't you feel isolated and left out by your label when you're literally suing them, right? And granted, I'm not here to be on the coattails. I'm never the type of person to be on the side of the machine ever, okay? Like, if I could defend somebody that's not part of a corporate giant machine that has been, basically using and slaving artists away, then I'll defend them all day. But something like this, again, going to the depths of trying to prove and request legal documentation about another grown man's personal life outside of a rap beat. It's just a lot. It's just a lot. Okay, so he could feel very like isolated or left out by his label. Okay, it's coming through as like bad choices. Okay. So he feels like he's suffering the consequences of this, possibly. Okay, why is this here, please? Okay, masculine energy, authority, discipline, and father figure. And I was just talking about that, how the most recent request, granted there were other things in that request as well, you guys, but the ones that really stood out the most, it seems like to most people, was the information about Kendrick Lamar's history as far as like his criminal background, his past, who's the father of those kids. Like, it's just doing too much. Okay, I get you have to present evidence and prove your case, but considering the transcripts that just came out, it makes sense why this request is the request that it is, because the judge just straight up asked, is it true what he said in these lyrics or not? So it's a kind of weird place to be in. But I feel like also too, with this masculine energy, I feel like he's kind of struggling with his ego a little bit. Well, not a little bit, a lot of it. Okay, but let's see. Why is this here, please? And I always get this with him. It's like he thinks he's bigger than the program. Granted, yes, Drake is like one of the biggest artists in the world, lawsuit or not, rap beef or not. So you can't take that away from him. But at the end of the day, no matter how big you are, like, you are not bigger than the program. Okay? Yeah, sipping. It says rumors, gossip, and nosy. He's very up to speed about what people are saying online and the rumors and the gossip. And look at this chaos at the bottom, upheaval, disaster, and downfall. He's really trying hard to like avoid this disaster of some type of downfall here. Okay, psychopath is showing up, abusive, conniving, and unpredictable. Wow, interesting. Okay, I'm gonna get one more of these, please. And it's giving like, you know, he has to prove these rumors and things like that. And another thing the judge mentioned in the midst of those transcripts that I was listening to, again, from the hearing from back in June, even the judge was like, a lot of what you guys are saying or, you know, presenting is a lot of like online, subjective, speculative opinions. Like, there's really not a whole lot of basis that I could use. Just in layman's terms, you guys, you're gonna have to read the transcripts for obviously verbatim dialogue, but it was giving, again, the judge is like, listen, I can only do so much based on subjective opinions that you're bringing to me based off of people on the internet. You know what I'm saying? So again, trying to use like rumors or people's, again, subjective opinions online is not going to suffice in a court of law. Okay, but why is this here, please? But Drake is very up to speed and very hip to the chit chat online, essentially. Okay, why is this here, please? We got more of these. Daydreaming. Okay, you have head in the clouds. Yeah. Delusion, hopes and dreams. That's pretty funny. Wow. Okay. Wow. But yeah, daydreaming. So again, it's kind of giving like really shooting for the stars and hoping for the best. But I also, the last time I did a reading with Drake, it's been a couple of months now. If anything, I might leave a link below to the last Drake reading I did. But I forgot what I was going to say. Fuck, I lost my train of thought. My apologies. But I'm channeling you guys in the middle of a reading. When a thought comes, if I don't say it right then, it kind of slips my mind and I'll forget. But if it comes back up, I will definitely say what was coming to mind. But I don't want to call it delusion, but I could see how some people might take it that way or view it that way. I don't want to call it that. But yeah, it's kind of like, again, shooting for the stars and kind of hoping for the best. Oh, that's what I was going to say. The last Drake reading I did, I mentioned how it was the energy of kind of digging your own grave. And it's like once you've gotten a little too deep, okay, now you're 4 feet, you're 5 feet, then you hit that 6 foot mark, you don't have a ladder to get out. It's kind of like, well, I might as well keep digging because now I don't have a way out of this. We've gotten this far, so we might as well keep going, is the energy that I'm getting. Okay, let's see, we're gonna get into a different oracle deck as well. This one's a little bit on the newer side. It's really cute. We're gonna get a couple of these, but let's see, how else is he feeling, please? And another thing too I want to mention, guys, I feel like Drake, again, he's like one of the biggest artists in the world, whether you like him or not, lawsuit or not, you can't take that from him. I feel like if he were to just go independent, because mind you, when all this beef stuff happened, even before all these back and forth diss records dropped, he was in negotiations to get another contract or to renew his contract with UMG. So it's like if you paid back the money, your contract is over with, you want to renegotiate, they're not giving you what you want, you're literally fucking Drake. Like, if you're the hottest thing since sliced fucking bread, there's no reason why your music shouldn't sell, even as an independent artist. So that goes to show, or to tell me, again, it's not about how I personally feel, but just logically thinking, like, wouldn't you be successful without the label? Again, if you're the hottest thing since sliced bread, the biggest artist in the world, why do you even need the label anymore? You know, so that makes me kind of infer, okay, do you need the label like more than you want people to assume that you do? Because there's absolutely no reason why he shouldn't be able to go independent and be very fucking successful. Okay? That's just my own inference. Okay? What do I know, right? Look at this. You have new love. Reconciliation. Drake. Now, you guys, what did I just say? He was in negotiations to renew the contract. Okay, a reconciliation, a new love. Again, to renew the contract, reconciling with the label UMG here. But he's feeling very isolated. This is crazy because it's coming through. I just got a download. I feel like UMG, like they tried to really work with him. They weren't going to give him whatever the fuck he was asking for, but I feel like they were really trying to work with him before it got this far. That's why I said I feel like he could make a lot of fucking money being an independent artist. We're Drake. Why would you even need the label? But this is giving like he wants to reconcile with them or something here. But again, once you kind of dug a hole too fucking deep, it's very hard to get out of it now. It's kind of what it's giving. So you can want to reconcile with them all day, but I don't think it's going to happen that way. Okay, why is this here, please? I could be wrong, but why is this here? Okay. Hot and cold is showing up. Okay, and then expansion, high vibe, summertime is showing up. So we know, okay, last summer was a doozy for Drake. Okay, summer 2024 will probably go down in history. You guys go on my community board, or maybe you were on Instagram and you follow Drake. One of his more recent posts from the other day was him, I'm assuming like on stage, on tour, wherever the fuck he's at. He had a vest on that said, "I know what they did last summer." Remember that movie, I Know What You Did Last Summer? It's like, bro, you're getting special custom vests made. It's like you're giving too much energy to these people. Like, he's really, lawsuit or not, again, do what you got to do. You're trying to expose the label, whatever, great. But doing like small little shots, like sly, snarky shit like that, and then still taking shots in your music, it's like, which one is it, hot or cold? Like, are you hurt? Are you in a detriment because of this stuff, or are you still, playing tag? You know what I'm saying? So it's giving like, pick a side. Like, are you hurt or are you not? You know what I'm saying? And it's, again, you're giving these people, again, whoever they are, again, UMG, Kendrick Lamar, whoever, the internet, you're giving these people way too much fucking power talking about, oh, I know what they did last summer. I'm still trying to assess how I feel. Like, come on, bro. With this hot and cold, it's definitely giving like, listen, do you want to reconcile with us or not? Are you going to take the money we're offering you or not? What's it going to be? I just did a reading the other day. It was more of a general collective reading, but I titled it that, like, what's it going to be? Okay. Expansion, high vibe, and summer. So he's definitely gonna like trying to expand, or he's hoping obviously that this will go his way. Okay, what is this, please? I need space. Wow, overwhelmed. Boundaries and retreat. Spiritual awakening and intuition. He's a very like intuitive person, I feel like, but in the same breath, he's like so emotionally reactive. Then he is like logically reactive, that it can kind of override his intuition and the logical thinking. As smart as he fucking is, okay, you guys, I give that to him. I got that in the last reading I did for him. He's very smart and, again, very intuitive, but that emotional impulsivity can kind of override the strength of somebody's intellectualism, or, again, using their intuition, okay? But this coming through as I need space. So, again, like I mentioned before, it's like, do you want to reconcile with the label? Figure something out with them because you need them, is how it's coming through, or do you not? What are you trying to do? I need space. So, and I get with this girl in this car. She looks very stressed out. Like, she's not so happy. She's just sitting in the woods. And And this is showing up underneath the rumors and gossip. I feel like being so, I don't want to say he's just sitting online all day, every day, but the stuff that he sees, it does stress him out. It bothers him. He doesn't like, oh, why did it come through like that? Okay, I just heard he doesn't like people figuring out the truth, or he doesn't like people seeing things the way that they're seeing them. I don't know why it's coming through like that, but yeah, like basically he doesn't want people to the narrative to be what it is online, the way that he's seeing it, okay? Boundaries, retreat, and overwhelmed. Okay, why is this here, please? Distance, travel, and adventure just tried to show up, okay? I guess he's on tour right now, but or maybe he's just doing shows. I don't know if what he's doing right now, because I don't really follow Drake, you guys, but I guess he's on a tour, or I don't know what he's doing, but that's another thing too. It's like, that's why it's coming through as hot and cold. You don't know what you want to do for real, or how should you move next, because if this label is so bad to you, they tried to destroy you, they were a detriment, you lost millions of dollars because of them, okay, right? Because that's what that's the claim in the lawsuit, that UMG should have protected him and not released the music, okay? It's like, why are you still slaving for them? Why are you still trying to release an album underneath them? You paid back the contract, right? So it's like, are you still in a contract with them? Or do you have a certain amount of albums that you had to put out? Like, I just don't get why he's still slaving away for the company that he's literally taken to court and that allegedly ruined his life and his reputation. So it's like, again, do you need to do this? Like, are you still contractually obligated? Are you afraid of not being the biggest star in the world if you detach from the label or something? Okay, it's strange. You guys can give your opinions on that, what you think, right, based on what I'm saying, but I hope that makes sense. You know, do you need the money that bad that you have to tour and slave away for this company that, again, as you said, created such a detriment to your life? Okay, it's giving like, I don't want to, but I have to. Okay, why is this here, please? Toxic behavior. Wow, control, manipulation, and obsession. That's crazy. How I just mentioned that, like, he doesn't like the narrative that people have on the internet about this. He doesn't like the way that it came through specifically, though. The way I heard it was, he doesn't like people knowing the truth. So that makes a lot of sense why this control, manipulation is here. Control what people are seeing online, control the gossip, control the narrative. But it's just not working like that anymore. You know, that's just not the type of timing that the universe is on right now. So all that manipulating energy, trying to control the narrative, it doesn't work the same. The veil has lifted, okay, collectively. Okay, look at this. Something about days or weeks, the number 15 could be significant. So maybe 15 days or 15 weeks from now could be significant, okay? So let's see. Let's get into another deck, you guys. Oh boy, Drake. I guess I might as well use this deck here called What's the Gossip? We did have a card that came out that said sipping, rumors, and gossip. So let's get into this. There's a snake wrapped around the heart. He feels very like, he doesn't trust anybody right now. Maybe that's why this I need space is showing up. He doesn't trust anybody or like anything. I just can't help but feel it. Again, it's like, I really like Drake's music a lot. I don't really like tapping into his energy for real, but you know, this is not about his artistry or anything like that. It just I feel like he's got some very like toxic behavior. Of course, you know, nobody's fucking perfect. He's a human being just like you and me, but I just feel like he's viewing this situation as very toxic. He doesn't like it. He's not happy about it. But it's like, you have a lot of very toxic ways yourself, Drake. It's like, again, he thinks he's bigger than the program. So now that the program is not working for him the way that it always has, the way that he's used to, now you need space. Now you don't know what to do. Now everybody's against you. Everybody hates you. Okay, let's see. Why is this here, please, for Drake? Oh, divine intervention is showing up. Okay, it says unexpected guidance, universe stepping in, redirected plans. Yeah, so it's interesting because this really could be like a blessing in disguise, low key, for him with divine intervention. How exactly? I'm not exactly sure, but it even says saved just in time. So what is this? I feel like with that, either like his intuition, again, his intuition is very strong, but he's too emotionally impulsive to really stick to it or follow it or apply logic to it in certain situations, especially like this. No offense. But with divine intervention, I feel like his intuition or maybe even other people around him that he may have gotten advice from or people that he respects, they could have tried to tell him, like, listen, man, like, why don't you try something else? Again, it says redirected paths and unexpected guidance. So he could have gotten some guidance or advice to, like, hey, like, why don't you just reconcile with them? Why don't you just, not saying to just lay on your back and settle with whatever chump change they're trying to give him, but try to make it work from like a more diplomatic type of way. I feel like someone tried to give him that advice or to, again, reevaluate this entire lawsuit. But again, like I mentioned earlier, once you kind of dig that grave 5-6 feet deep and you don't have a fucking ladder to get out, well, we made it this far, we might as well keep fucking digging. Again, that ego is in the way here. Okay, why is this here, please? Now he feels like he's paying for it with his consequences. Okay, what is this? Clickbait. Yeah, shocking. You won't believe this story. Okay, misleading headlines, empty promises, exaggerated truths, and not what it seems. Now, didn't I mention earlier he's seeing what people are saying online? This, that, and the third. Okay. He doesn't like it. He does not like it. And another thing too I want to say. Again, the transcripts from that hearing from June 30th, if you guys listen to somebody read them out loud, you read them yourselves, make sure you guys check that out, because I feel like, and granted, this was months ago, back in June, I feel like after that hearing happened, I don't know if there was manipulation based on the reports from that hearing, or if anybody even got into what was really said in that law in the hearing. But now that the transcripts are out, it turns out the judge and UMG's lawyers really chewed the fuck out of Drake's lawyers. Okay, again, I listened to them. I listened to somebody read them for 2 hours. Okay, just so I could do this reading. Of course, I don't know everything verbatim. Again, it was like maybe 2-3 hour stream, damn near. But you guys got to listen to it for yourselves. I really feel like, again, Drake could have tried to possibly manipulate or control the narrative, possibly, allegedly. Just for, here we are a month and a half later, here we are, in the middle of August, the transcripts are released. People can read them for themselves now. It wasn't, however, they tried to make it seem. Like I just said, Drake's lawyers kind of got chewed up through that hearing. But I feel like when the hearing first happened, again, back in June, maybe the narrative on the internet doesn't match or didn't necessarily correlate or align with what actually happened in court. Okay, for example, let me just use an example, right? For those of y'all following the Tory Lanez situation, his appeal, right? Clickbait, misleading headlines. They're telling you his appeal got denied, right? But that's not true. Tory Lanez's case, the oral arguments are still going to happen. The appeal is still very wide open. What was denied were his writ of habeas corpus. That was denied, okay? Which would entail need for like an immediate release. So again, misleading headlines, exaggerated truth to try to make it seem like Tory's appeal was basically thrown out and they said fuck you. And that's not true. It's very easy to manipulate it and make it seem that way based on what happened, but that's not true. Same thing with this Drake situation, okay? I feel like back whenever this hearing happened, it was rumors and stuff put online to control the narrative, but now that the transcripts are out, people can read them for themselves. We're finding out like actually you got chewed the fuck up, Drake, okay? So yeah, like shit is not what it seems. Again, hot and cold. He seems very gung-ho on exposing the label. They did this, they did that. But it's like hot and cold. You want to reconcile with them. On the low, okay? Allegedly. Why is it here, please? Yeah, look at this. Secrets exposed. Spilled tea. Another energy of gossip, okay? This book on here says gossip. Gossip spreading. Oops, it's out. Leaked information. Wow. Now, granted, court documents that the people have every right to have access to, it's not necessarily leaked information because the transcripts were going to come out regardless. It just took a little while, but they came out, okay? So, yeah, like, we see it for what it is. It's not how you want everybody else to view it. And that's too fucking bad. Like, oops, it's out. Yeah. Why is this here, please? Let me get one more of these. This isn't making any sense to y'all. Definitely leave a like on the video. Share if you care, okay? Let me know what y'all know. You have influencer status. You can't be serious. I just got to download. It says social recognition, online fame, power to influence, which he does. He does have a lot of power to influence, okay? We know that. You know, Drake is like one of the biggest artists in the world, but I just got to download, like, if this doesn't go the way that he wants or he's not able to keep things under wraps the way that he wants, yeah, DM slide, past life. There's someone here that he could, you know, be in connection with or in talks to go back to doing what he used to do in the past. And as you guys know, he was an actor. Okay, so he was on television before he got into music. But I feel like he's in connection with somebody here that he's known for a long time, possibly. For influencer status to become like a fucking streamer. Maybe not become a full-time streamer like a Kai Cenat or whatever, or fucking Aiden Ross, but it's giving like he's talking about it or looking into it, okay? I did a Drake reading a long time ago, maybe like over a year ago, between him and 50 Cent, and him and 50 Cent were in talks about doing something on television or bringing Drake on part of his team to work together on TV. But this is definitely giving like maybe with daydreaming, hopes and dreams, I need space. He may try to redirect and again go back to what he used to do, television, movies, things like that, or some type of online influencer type of shit. And it's giving like streaming. Oh gosh, okay. And look, side hustle. I'm about to put the deck away. Side hustle. A girl on 2 computers, a phone, extra earnings, multiple incomes. I was just talking about how he could want to do streaming or something. My goodness. Okay, let's get into the tarot, you guys, because I promised I wasn't going to keep this reading too long. But it's giving hot and cold. I feel like he wants to reconcile with the label, but I don't think the label wants to reconcile with him after all this. I can't imagine. And if they, I mean, maybe because it's like, you know, again, Drake is a major money maker. They could still make a lot of money off of Drake, just the way Drake can make a lot of money off of them. But I don't know. Yeah, look, 2 of Cups. I'm not going to keep it because I wasn't ready, but 2 of Cups, again, the business relationship, the partnership, harmony, balance. You know, everything was peaches and cream. Everything was copacetic and cool and nice and balanced and harmonious when shit was going your way. But now things are not necessarily going your way, or again, you feel like these people were out to get you, and I really don't think that was the case. Like, that's kind of like biting the hand that feeds. Like, imagine you're UMG and one of your biggest money makers, maybe outside of Taylor Swift, because if I'm not mistaken, I think Taylor Swift is under UMG as well. But anyway, imagine you're UMG and it's like you stop feeding the person that's keeping the lights on. That business wise and logically, that literally makes no fucking sense. Why would you isolate or stop feeding the person that is helping keep the fucking lights on in this building? I'm not saying it's just him, but he plays a very major factor there at UMG. Again, makes him a lot of fucking money. Drake can't even do fucking interviews, okay, without UMG getting a piece of that pie. So I don't know if it's a shitty deal, but it kind of feels like it, because they own everything of Drake. His name, likeness, again, interviews, any type of recordings, all of that. They own that. So does it make logical financial sense to throw, again, your biggest moneymaker, the one that's keeping the lights on in the building, to the wolves to be destroyed? Wouldn't that destroy you or hurt your pockets as well? So I'm a nobody. I'm just using spiritual inference and logical thinking. I just don't think that makes financial sense, whether you're UMG, a small business owner, whatever it is. Like, if somebody's making you all of this money, why would you throw them to the wolves? Because that in turn hurts your pockets as well. So I just don't think that angle makes a lot of sense. Okay, and another thing the judge mentioned, you guys, before I get into the tarot, I'm sorry to talk so much, but in the transcripts that came out from the hearing back in June, it's just the transcripts just came out. Even the judge was like, well, unless, Mr. Lamar or UMG, unless they're psychics, or unless they can, tell the future, how would they have known that people were going to even like the song? How would they have known? They were in a consistent back and forth, like between hours, if not a day, one behind another. 24 hours later, a song. 12 hours later, another song. So if they're just dropping back to back to back to back, from the judge's perspective, okay, from the judge's POV, she was saying, how would they have known unless they can tell the future that the song was going to be popular? So I get it. I get it. I really try to look at both sides, but it's a little difficult to stand 10 toes behind Drake with this, because it's kind of giving, it's like, once the system doesn't work for you the way that you like it to, now it's a problem, and that's what I don't like. Go ahead, get your money, Drake. I'm all for it. Fuck the system, radical rebellion, fuck them. I'm all for it, but not this way. It's just not this way. You know what I'm saying? So let's see. Why is this here, please, when it comes to Drake? What is his energy like regarding this lawsuit, please? And it's crazy because you said everything that you said was facts. Everything you said was true. You didn't lie, okay? So if that's the case, why do you need UMG to provide evidence of what you already said you knew to be true? Didn't you provide the information to Kendrick Lamar? So you should already know or have evidence or proof of all of this. Because why do you need UMG to provide documentation to help prove your case? Then why are they going to do that? Like, what? Just give me the information I need to help my suit against you. No, it doesn't work like that. Okay. Oh, damn. And I meant to mention that, you guys, this deck that I'm using, it can be read in the upright or the reverse. So if it falls out in the reverse, I'm just going to leave it that way, okay? This Ten of Pentacles came out in the reverse. I'm not going to sit here and call Drake broke or he's struggling for money. I'm not going to do that, because that would be a fucking lie. Yes, he gambles a lot. He does spend a lot of money gambling. That comes out in his readings a lot. And that's another thing I mentioned. It's like, are you in need? Do you need the money, or are you still contractually obligated so you just can't go independent? Like, what is it? Can you not afford to buy back your catalog from UMG? Okay, ten of Pentacles in the reverse. Problems, insecurity, failure, financial loss, fleeting success, and lack of stability. And as you guys know, the Ten of Pentacles, when it's in the upright, that's usually somebody who's very secure, very stable. They've worked very fucking hard to get where they're at. That's long-term wealth. But in the reverse, it could just be, you know, maybe a foundation that's cracking a little bit, or the again, lack of stability here. Wow, he's definitely not a financial failure. That's not true. So he's not a failure, but absolutely not in any way regard is he a failure. But in this case, when it comes to this lawsuit, he could be, one, losing a lot of money to keep paying these fucking lawyers, and two, it's creating an instability here. Lack of resources. Wow. Okay, why is this here, please? Ten of Wands is showing up in the reverse. So that's 2 10s. 10-10 could be significant. Okay, but it says disagreement, release, irresponsible, burnout, immature. So with this 10 of Wands and the 10 of Pentacles in the reverse, it's like he wants to release this burden. Like I already mentioned, I think he was getting some type of advice or guidance. From who, I'm not exactly sure. Maybe, again, just someone he respects or holds in a very high regard. They could have tried to tell him, like, listen, why don't you redirect this path? Try something new. Release this burden, or just let it go. I don't know. Or again, reconcile with them. See what they'll come to the table with now that you shook the table a little bit. But he doesn't agree with that. It's like part of him does, but then another part of him doesn't. Again, it's like the intuition and the ego. Intuition and ego. And his ego is kind of like keeping him in this lawsuit, essentially, I feel like. Okay, burnout, careless, irresponsible, release. Okay, why is this here, please? I already got an energy of being hot and cold. Like, he's very hot and cold about this now at this point. He's not as gung-ho as he was before. Okay, oops, 7 of Swords. It fell out in the reverse, but now it's showing up in the upright, okay? Dishonesty, betrayal, theft, trickery, deception. Wow. Again, I already saw a card that said toxic behavior, manipulation, and control. He'd be trying to control the narrative. Oh, that makes a lot of sense, too, with this influencer status. So he could use people who are very popular online to portray a particular narrative, just for that narrative to possibly, allegedly not really be true. Okay, dishonesty, falseness, deception, running away. They're trying to get away with something with that 7 of Swords. Okay, Aquarius energy. I feel like, again, he's very fucking smart. Aquarius energy is very intelligent. But the thing about an Aquarius, as an Aquarius with 5 Aquarius placements, you guys, we are a lot more fucking logical. Like, we're not, or an Aquarius energy. I think Drake has Aquarius in his chart somewhere. I'm not exactly sure where, but I think he does. But anyway, he's very heavily water oriented. He's got a Scorpio sun and a Cancer moon. So again, the emotional impulsivity or taking things so personally all the time overrides the intellectual, the intellectualism of him. It's really bad. Like, and his intuition, that as well, it like overrides all of that. Okay, why is this here, the 7 of Swords? Trying to get away with stuff. Again, I feel like trying to get away with controlling the narrative, or hoping that people wouldn't fucking do their homework and see what the transcript said. You know, like, come on, man. What is this? Emperor in the upright. Okay, that's a good sign. It says leadership, respect, stability, security, protection, establishment. Now, in this case, of course, we're reading about Drake and the lawsuit, UMG. Technically, UMG would it's coming through as a boss daddy. I don't know why I just heard it like that, but it literally came through as boss daddy. And I find it very interesting. Lucian Grange, the CEO of UMG, whose name is riddled throughout this lawsuit, riddled throughout the court hearing. He is an Aries, okay? And he technically would be the emperor, the person that runs the show, okay? Again, Drake thinks he's bigger than the program. This is coming out after with the 7 of Swords. It's like, again, trying to create a narrative or falsely accuse or lie or try to get away with something against this emperor, okay? And again, you guys, I am in no way, shape, or form, or no means pro-establishment, no matter what the establishment is, okay? Allegedly, YouTube, Google, please do not take my channel down when I say that, okay? I'm talking about music, but any other day, I'd be like, fuck UMG, fuck the system, right? But in this case, it's really kind of giving, I hate to even be saying this, but it's like, Drake, like, are you trying to, like, again, implicate or lie about something regarding the establishment that you're attached to? And it's so weird because it's not like what Drake is saying is like not true in certain aspects. Yes, there are such thing as inflating people's streams. Yes, there is such a thing as, bot farms and things like that, obviously, right? So it's not that it's untrue what you're saying, Drake, in certain regards. But I feel like in this specific case that you're taking to court, again, in an instance, if we're going to be logically inferring things, logically, you guys are going back and forth with a span of hours, if not 24 hours. One day he's dropping, the next day Kendrick's dropping. It was back and forth. So how would anybody have suspected or known that one drop, okay, out of all the multiple drops would be the one that blew up the most, right? So it's like, again, not to say that what you're saying or bringing to the table is not true in certain regards for certain artists, right? Remember Drake, that whole Scorpion era when he dropped that album? He was every fucking where, everywhere. The heavy playlisting, the radio play, all of that. So it's like, one, you've benefited from this system that, again, that you're complaining about bringing to court. Two, it's not that it's untrue. I just don't think that it's true in this particular aspect. Okay, so it's like, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but I hope that you guys understand what I'm trying to say. Again, it's not that what he's saying is untrue in some cases. I just don't think with this particular case, him back and forth, Kendrick Lamar, Drake, blah, I just don't think that applies here necessarily. I really don't. Now, do I feel like the establishment, UMG, Lucian Grange, and all of them, do I feel like they stepped in and took more control and pushed and kind of basically pumped up the energy behind Not Like Us and putting him on a pedestal after the fact? Yes, absolutely. I do feel like there was a lot of like pumping the gas and kind of blowing things up a little more out of proportion. Again, that industry red button thing, I feel like they didn't really come into play until after they saw how good Not Like Us was doing. I don't think they said, well, let's just make Not Like Us the big one because we just know it's gonna do well. No, they didn't know it was gonna do well. They had no clue. Just like the other songs, they didn't fucking know. They just took the one that blew up and continued to push it. And again, put Kendrick on a different pedestal. But I don't think that was the game plan when things first kind of started happening. Does that make sense, you guys? But to Drake, it's like that was the game plan the whole fucking time. Y'all knew Not Like Us was going to be huge. You knew Not Like Us was doing this, that, and the third. So I get his perspective. I truly do. But the way that it's coming out, it's like, that's not true. Like, that's not how it was. Maybe in certain aspects, yes. But in this one, no, that's not what it was. I hope that makes sense. And my apologies for going on a tangent trying to explain that. But let's see. Why is this here? Yeah, he feels like the establishment, okay? Again, the boss daddy energy. He feels like they didn't protect him or anything like that, okay? Judgment in the reverse, indecision, destruction, inner critic, lack of self-awareness, and self-doubt. It also says false judgment. So when the judgment card is in the upright, this is somebody maybe who's going to make a decision, the final decision, like this is it, I'm for certain this time. Maybe forgiveness and reconciliation. But in the reverse, it's giving, again, indecision. He's indecisive. I already had hot and cold show up for him. So should I go back to the boss daddy? Should I reconcile with them? Should I not? The fact that you're even contemplating about reconciling with them goes to show that you either need them or you feel like this has a means to an end or something, okay? False judgment. Yeah, that's interesting. Wow, okay. The judgment card showing up in the reverse. I hate to say this, but I don't know if this is gonna go in his favor. The judgment card literally in the reverse. I mean, they're waiting for a judgment to be made in a court of law in the reverse. I don't know, Drake. He could be very concerned that a judgment is not gonna go in his favor. Okay, why is this here, please? Queen of Wands. Okay, Queen of Wands is showing up. Someone who's very magnetic, attractive, very successful as well, a leader, confidence, courage, independence, determination. So I was saying that earlier, like, why can't you go independent? Okay, the Queen of Wands is an entrepreneur, you know, again, a leader, someone who takes the lead, takes charge. I just don't get why he couldn't go independent. If somebody can answer that for me, like maybe has he ever talked about that, rapped about why he's not independent? I don't know, but oh, okay, Nine of Swords in the reverse. Paranoia, he's very stressed out. He could be nervous to go independent. Oh, I see. Okay, that's what it is. Queen of Cups. It's like, you know, one, I'll say this, I feel like he's almost in a way kind of losing passion for the music. Not all the way, but kind of, sort of. And I feel like he's a little paranoid. He's worried that, like, he's not going to make as much money if he goes independent with this Ace of Pentacles. Again, like, using his emotions to make decisions here. When, again, if this company is not paying you what you want, again, you're in a slave contract anyway. Maybe you're losing passion for the music or being a slave to the boss daddy. But you're maybe a little insecure or paranoid or nervous about going independent because maybe you're worried you won't make as much money being independent. I think that's what is stopping him or what he could be possibly allegedly worried about, okay? But it's like, you're literally fucking Drake. Like, why wouldn't people support you? You know? I just don't understand that fully. Okay, why is it here, please? Page of Pentacles. Yeah, he's worried that the money is going to be slower if he's independent. I think he's just used to those large advances, you know? And again, benefiting from the system that he is literally complaining about in court. Ideas, opportunity, manifestations, ambitions, skill development. That's also someone who likes to learn, or they're curious about something. Kind of a breadcrumb offer. So yeah, he's, granted, his brand, you know, it kind of sort of took a hit in a way after this. But it's not as bad as he's making it seem. I will say that. I feel like people still want to work with Drake, still want to, you know, give him deals or this, that, and the third. He could have been in talks with other labels as well outside of UMG. Granted, UMG is a really big conglomerate. There's really only Warner, Sony, and UMG. So if not UMG, you're either going to go to Warner or Sony. Or again, be fucking independent. But I think part of him worries the money is not going to be as good, or wow, okay, it's giving like I can't do this by myself. But you have a whole team, Drake. You wouldn't be doing anything by yourself technically. So I just don't get it. I really don't get it. Okay, why is it here, please? He's not going to get what he wants out of this financially either. If he tries to sue for like money or finances, I don't know if there's an exact dollar amount that he's looking for attached to this lawsuit, but he's not going to get as much as he thinks or much as he wants with this Page of Pentacles, okay? It's like, you might as well keep slaving away because you'll make more money doing that out of us than you will out of this lawsuit. Okay? King of Swords is in the reverse. Again, someone who's not thinking fucking logically here. Manipulative, severe, ruthless, loss of emotional control. I keep mentioning how he's very emotionally impulsive, right? Misuse of power. Yeah, so he feels like, again, like with this, with the boss daddy, he feels like they didn't protect him, or he feels like, again, they were working against him to again, like to lessen his value, essentially, with this Page of Pentacles. But it's given, the card literally says manipulative. You had the Seven of Swords in the upright, again, someone who's dishonest, deceptive, trying to get away with shit. The King of Swords in the reverse, a liar. If not maybe so much a liar, maybe just telling half fucking truths, you know. I guess what I said before, it's like what you're accusing these people of, it's not like it's unfucking true in certain regards. Okay, but I feel like in this particular sense, it just so happened like these people, the higher ups, they didn't really step in and hit that button for Kendrick Lamar or prop him up until after the fact. You know? Granted, they already had a problem with Drake before all this. They already didn't really like Drake before. I don't know. He thinks that these people are his family and I've been here for so long. I make them so much money. They're my family. No, you are a fucking slave. You make us billions of dollars. We give you hundreds of millions of dollars in return for that. And we own all of your likeness. You can't do shit without us owning it or without us getting paid if you do anything. So no, we're not your fucking family. And I don't know why he thought these people were his fucking family. Business is business. So again, using your emotions to lead, okay, or make decisions here, it just wasn't beneficial in the long run. That's why it's coming through like it was never fucking personal. Like, we don't want to give you $1 billion, Drake. It's like, it's not personal. I feel like even if it wasn't Drake, like, we're not gonna give you $1 billion fucking dollars. You know, I'm just throwing a number out there, whatever the fuck he was asking for. Okay, because his last contract was around 400 million. Got that money back. Okay, so it's like, now what else are you asking for? They just weren't trying to give it to him. You know, I feel like they were very willing to compromise with him, though. They were absolutely willing to compromise. Like, it's coming through in my mind, like in my third eye, like meetings for days and days of just trying to figure out options, you know, like, well, we can do this. Oh, how about this? We can restructure this like this. And it just wasn't good enough for him. And I would never tell somebody to settle. You know your fucking worth. You know how much your catalog is worth. Don't settle. So I don't want you guys to take what I'm saying and think, well, why would he settle? You know, just because they're offering him this, why should he take that? He's Drake. I know. Don't fucking settle, even if you are Drake, no matter who you are. But in the same breath, it's like they tried and tried and tried and tried. But it's like, you don't get what you want. Now you're pulling us into a fucking lawsuit saying this, that, and the third. You're doing too much, Drake. Now they're really not going to try to give you what the fuck you're asking for. Now that you're in this headspace of, again, should I go back? Should I deal with them again? Should we try this again? Now you really lessened your own value. Like, oh, gosh. Okay, well, let's see. Wishful thinking. Okay, Knight of Pentacles is showing up in the upright. Yeah, it slowed down a little bit. So it's like they'd still be willing to work with you, but it's not gonna be the fucking same. They're gonna try to slow shit down for you. Okay, conservative, efficiency, responsible, dependable. Okay, can we have more on this, please? Yeah, so this is not looking too hot, Drake. Okay, yeah, 5 of Cups in the upright. I wish this was in the reverse. I might feel a little bit better, but the upright, regret, depression, sadness, feeling in lack, okay? Grief, despair, regret, disappointment, feeling unloved or abandoned. Yeah. Yeah, but you know, he's willing to defend himself, challenge, protection with this Queen of Pentacles. So again, like I already said, stand your ground. I would never tell somebody to settle or back down, especially if you know how much you're worth. No matter if you're Drake or just, you know, a regular everyday citizen like you and I. You know, it's just giving like you're doing too much. Now you're blocking out your own potential financial earnings. Now you're blocking out your own blessings in a way because you're letting your ego control you. You're letting your ego get in the way. Yeah, and I'm seeing the Hierophant in the reverse. That's another energy of the establishment, the people in charge. Again, even the court of law. Okay, the Fool is showing up here. It's giving like I'm hearing frivolous. Like, this is very frivolous. I don't even talk like that. Yeah, blind faith, rebellion, misconception, personal beliefs. It doesn't make it actually true. Just because you feel one way doesn't mean it's actually fucking true. And it's giving like they may just kind of let this go. Like, get this out of my courtroom. It's kind of how it's coming through. The Fool card is like release, a new fresh beginning, a new start, independency, okay, even being a little naive. So even if he does decide to take whatever breadcrumbs that UMG's they may try to offer him, again, they may still try to make it difficult for him, slow him down a little bit, mess with his numbers if he does renegotiate with them. Okay, and as far as like the Hierophant being in reverse, again, the court, the judge, all that stuff, I feel like it's giving like you might as well just go independent, bro. Just let it go. I just don't think he's gonna get the money he's expecting to get out of this, or the outcome he's expecting to get out of this for some reason. Okay, I could be wrong, and I'm totally fine with being wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but I mean, shit, that's not feeling that hot. Okay, I'm gonna get a couple of cards just to see. I'm curious how maybe Kendrick Lamar could feel about this. Okay, now that his fucking kids were brought up in the damn request. Okay, so let's see. We use a totally different deck. Let's see, how does Kendrick Lamar feel when it comes to this lawsuit, or his kids being mentioned, or what's going on between Drake and UMG? How does Kendrick feel in regards to that, please, and thank you. What is this? Wheel of Fortune is showing up. Okay, so it's like destiny, fate. He feels like this was it's almost as if like he knew in a way, or like he kind of figured it would happen this way, or in his mind, again, he's a very like spiritually inclined type of individual. So this is giving like, well, this is how it has to be, then this is how it has to be. Destiny, fate. It's kind of giving like the mindset of everything happens for a reason. Okay, Wheel of Fortune is good karma, good luck, or good fate. Destiny, again, like I already mentioned, you know, something was meant to happen a particular way. Okay, so why is this here, please? Five of Swords. I just heard the word petty. You feel like it's very fucking petty, though. This can give you the energy of like control. Again, manipulation. We already had manipulation come out, okay? Mind games. Maybe even someone who's like a bully or kind of verbally abusive, aggressive. Okay, why is it here, please? Five of Swords. That can be self-sabotage. Oh, that makes sense. So you can feel like Drake is kind of self-sabotaging his own destiny, his own fate. Something that could be like even could have turned around and been better for him. It's kind of giving, if you would have just let time pass, people would have just been over it, and you could have, now you're kind of self-sabotaging your Wheel of Fortune here. I mean, that's how Kendrick could feel. Oh, what is this? Ten of Cups and the Death card. Interesting. Yeah, he's not cool with that. Ten of Cups can be like happy wife, happy life, emotional fulfillment. With the Death card here, that can be like transformation, rebirth, if not a major ending to things. Yeah, he feels like Drake is being very petty and like a bully. It's like, are you trying to create like strife in my actual family life or something here? Like with me and my fiance, I guess the engagement is off, his girl, Whitney, but they're not technically together right now. Just his family unit, okay, again, because they were mentioned. So it's like, are you trying to like put an end to my family, or like, what are you doing? If you guys remember, Kendrick, he did say how there was money put out there in the street. Maybe not so much to catch a body or whatever, but for information. There was money put out in the street for information on him. Oh gosh, look at this, the Devil card. Yeah, it's like, what are you doing, bro? He feels like he feels like Drake is really kind of, again, his own worst enemy. Yeah, Three of Swords. Like, this is not gonna end well for you. He feels like. And again, like I already mentioned, like if Drake decides to even go back to UMG, he's gonna look like a fucking ass. He's gonna look like a fool. they're really gonna fuck with his money, then his reputation. It's like, okay, sure, we'll bring you back on, but we're gonna make it very difficult for you. Just watch. You think Drake is petty? These labels can get petty as fuck too, you know? So he does not like this, Kendrick, at all. He's still gonna be like in his peace, his kumbaya, you know, like, don't fuck with me, I won't fuck with you. But what is this? He feels like it's again controlling, it's manipulative, he feels like it's petty. And he's like, at this point, it's like, are you trying to cause strife or a rift in my personal family life? You know, because again, that's different between him and Drake. Drake doesn't necessarily have like a wife or a family he's building or working on. Yes, he has a son. We know that, but we already know that situation with his son, right? No offense, but it is what it is. Like, Drake is not some type of family guy. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's not the same. Like, okay, why is this here, please? How Kendrick feels? The Hierophant. Yeah, I said it's giving like he's very connected to source. He's got a very strong relationship with God here, like his higher power, whoever he considers, you know. I definitely feel like it's not the same God that maybe a Diddy would talk about or a Jay-Z would talk about, okay? I feel like Kendrick is very in tune with his spirituality here. He's very disciplined. I get that energy with him a lot. So it's kind of giving like, you know what? I'm just going to let things play out how they play out. Again, with the Wheel of Fortune, he's never been the type to just get online and, you know, entertain rumors or gossip on the internet and make petty ass, you know, Instagram posts and to poke the bear or whatever. So, you know, it's giving, you know what, if God, you know, had it happen this way, then God is allowing it to happen this way and God will take care of it. It's kind of how it's coming through, you know. How does he feel about this? Yeah, Queen of Swords. He's like, the truth always prevails. Okay, Five of Swords and the Queen of Swords. It's giving like, no matter what, the truth always prevails. No matter what type of manipulation or bullying tactic, control you try to have here, the truth always comes out. Is how it's coming through. Okay, Ten of Cups. Wow. Okay, why is this here, please? Ooh, Seven of Swords. Yeah, wow. Okay, and I'm asking again, how does he feel regarding this lawsuit? Or how does he feel about his kids being brought up? He doesn't like it. Obviously, why would he like it, right? But I'm seeing the Seven of Swords and the Ten of Cups. Wow, okay. Lying about family or lying about somebody's marriage, okay? Ten of Cups is real estate, marriage. Again, the happy wife, happy life card, emotional fulfillment. Okay. Oh, King of Cups. Wow. That's so funny. Yeah, so this is coming out, and it fell right on top of the Seven of Swords. Technically, the King of Cups would be Drake, okay, the Scorpio in this reading. He just looks at him like a liar. Even like the Seven of Swords, the guy in that card is just staring at the King of Cups. So he just looks at Drake like a manipulator, like a liar. It's very obvious how he feels about Drake. If you guys listen to any of those diss tracks, it is very clear how he feels, okay? The Lover's card at the bottom, that's the Gemini energy. Everything happens in divine timing, okay? That is so funny, bro. Yeah, and he feels like UMG is gonna end up putting like an end to Drake. I don't hope for that. I mean, because I like Drake's music. That would kind of suck. But if he went independent, I'm sure he'd be fine. It's just, I think he's paranoid or nervous to do that, or doesn't fully trust, you know? Yeah, the Fool. It's like, you might as well let the shit go and start over, start fresh. Yeah, I'm hearing, don't tell no lies about me. I won't tell truths about you. I forgot what song that's from, but I just heard that. Knight of Pentacles. A slow down in the money. It's giving like, if you just trust and have faith, okay, or believe more in yourself, to take a leap of faith, again, for Drake to go independent or something, or let these labels go, whatever it might be, it may be a little slower, okay, but it's steady, it's consistent. You have a fucking loyal ass fan base that's willing to support you. So it's like you might as well just go ahead and take the leap. Not that Kendrick is sitting up giving him really like real advice, but this is just how it's coming through from his point of view, his perspective, allegedly. Okay. Give me one more, please. Wow, very interesting. Okay, yeah, the Justice card. That's the legalities. Court. Okay, even karma. Oof, yeah. And you have the Five of Cups. We just had the Five of Cups show up for Drake as well. So it's giving like Kendrick feels like, Drake, you could possibly be very disappointed in this lawsuit. And it's got nothing to do with me. Kendrick has no control over what the judge feels or what the judge says or how the judge rules. So it's like, again, you kind of bit yourself in the ass. You may have self-sabotaged here your own positive karma. It's kind of what it's giving from Kendrick. At least that's how he's feeling or viewing the situation. And he's going to be, ooh, okay, it's coming through. You're going to be really upset when the truth comes out, or if UMG decides to put a nail in a coffin in your ass. It's kind of what it's giving. Like, because there's something here about Drake that he gets very paranoid or nervous about coming out. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's like if you're on the up and up, everything's cool, copacetic, peaches and cream, like why are you, what truth would you be worried about coming out? And as I said that, the high priest is like some type of secret here. Something that's hidden in the shadows, in the background, that's not being said or talked about on the forefront in the media or anything, that he's paranoid or worried about. I don't know what it is, but it's not going to help this situation at all. That's for sure. Okay? But yeah, I'm going to leave this reading here, you guys. I really do hope that you guys enjoyed this or that it was insightful. I hope you guys like this style of reading. Definitely leave a like on the video, share if you care, leave a comment. I love when to interact with you guys because you guys always really help me kind of like tie together the loose ends that I may have missed. So I appreciate y'all so much. Thank you guys so much. I love you guys so much, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.